Welcome to the Love Connect podcast. My name is Kanika,
And my name is Vanita.
and we are back for another episode. I think this is like
Yes. No, no,
18.
no. Let's not say the number. I was looking at some of our previous episodes and I was like, we've said episode 17 like 4 times
Yeah,
now.
we only got. I'm gonna count.
Yeah, so we
I'm
really
gonna
need to
count.
count to
I'm gonna
be
count today or
accurate.
tomorrow. So I can know for
Okay.
sure. Yeah. So anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in. As always, my channel is new, so if you don't mind subscribing to the channel and liking the video and sharing it, I will really appreciate it because I can use all the help that I can get.
Yes.
So today, Vanita and I are going to discuss communicating your truth. Um, Communicating your truth and believing people when they communicate theirs to you. Um,
Exactly.
it's a she and I, we talk a lot about one of the biggest problems we believe, in friendships and in relationships and even in families is the inability to communicate clearly and effectively between adults. Um,
Hmm.
I think a lot of it's several reasons why I believe a lot of people do not communicate, what they're thinking or feeling to, their friends, their family, their colleagues, and your mate. Um, a lot of us live in a fear of the what might happen if we tell people the truth.
Definitely. I believe that that's the case as well. We're just not secure or confident enough in ourselves in whatever the truth is. I think also it may be a little bit of maybe an option. You're still trying to leave open a door of per se an option. If
Give
I
me an
was to give
example.
I was going to say, if I was to give you an example on it, it would be someone saying that they are ready for a relationship, but in reality, they're really not. They may be just saying that just to go along or not get canceled out ahead of time with whomever they're communicating with at the time.
That's big.
And that's on men and women. I think men and women do this.
That's big.
It's not just one side. Yeah.
That's big. We like the person. The
Hmm.
man likes a woman. The woman likes a man. But you're not quite sure if there's a better option out there.
Exactly. Exactly.
So,
So you never fully commit. You tend to just kind of forever live in, if you will, a limbo, perceiving that something better is going to come along with when, and I must say this, I don't think it's anything per se wrong with that, but communicate that that's the space that you're in. Maybe not exactly how we're saying it, but just say you're unsure at this time. You want to keep um building our friendship, you know,
yeah.
um and then give that other person the option because maybe they're willing to continue building that friendship with you. But people do have the option to say, well, no, that's not the space that I'm in. I'm looking for, a relationship and I want to move forward in that fashion. And that's okay too.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. Also, uh, there's an opposite effect of that that goes on too, where the person wants a relationship,
mhm.
but they're not saying they want a relationship.
Oh
They're
yeah.
acting they are what I call kicking it with you or whatever,
Okay.
dating
Mhm.
you in some way, and we both know this happens particularly a lot. I would think in the last 20, definitely within the internet social media age, where you're kicking it with somebody, uh,
Mhm.
in some way somehow between the spending time together and the sex,
Mhm.
somebody has developed feelings, and but that person who has developed feelings isn't communicating things have changed uh to that other person. And this, and believe it or not, ladies, this happens with men. They're not saying, hey, listen, I know it may have started off this way, or I didn't, think I was going to develop feelings, but I have,
Mhm.
now I want to take this to another level.
Exactly. It's
And
hard. That's a part of vulnerability that I'm not sure um some, but not all are comfortable with. Not a majority are
I agree.
comfortable with.
I haven't, I'm trying to, I don't want to tell, I want to be honest here. When I look back, have I had a man just outright say it? It usually comes with some kind of misunderstanding or blow up. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
I didn't answer the phone one time, or, I was out with someone else, or whatever. And it's like, why are you da 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 da? We're spending time together, da 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 da. And I thought we were such and such and such and such. And I'm like, well, when are you gonna tell me that? Like, if that's how you're feeling and that's what
Yeah.
you want, why aren't you saying it?
Exactly. Why didn't you inform me that the rules have changed?
Right.
There's
Right.
no, I can't read your mind.
I,
It's like,
effective
yeah,
communication
imperative.
is so imperative, even with your friends.
Yes. Yes.
Even with your friends.
Mhm.
Listen, y'all, sometimes you got to have the hard conversations, man. And you can't really worry about, because the reason why a lot of people don't do it is because they're afraid of how the person is going to take it. You
Exactly.
can't worry about how someone is going to take your truth. The only thing you
That's
can
true.
control is your intention behind it. If
Yes.
you're saying it and it's coming out of a loving place, an empathetic place or whatever, that's the only thing you can control.
Mhm.
But you have to
It's
be
true.
honest with people. If your friends are saying something or doing something to you, um, that you might find a little that you might perceive shady. Let's just say that, because that's
Okay.
a big one amongst women, right?
Mhm. Very true.
The big one amongst women. They might say or do something, uh, consciously or unconsciously, and you might say, like, what does she mean by that? Is she, is she not happy with me, or da 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 da. And instead of talking to your friend about it, you might kind of back up or cut them off, because to bring that to someone's attention is actually it's a brave thing to do, honestly, because you don't want them to think that they're being shady, but you do think that they're being shady. But a lot of times it's not even that. A lot of
That's not their
times
intent,
it's not
really.
their intention. And a
Yeah.
lot of times, sometimes people don't even realize they've said or done it. They're like,
Mhm.
I did,
I agree.
or you know what I mean, or I that wasn't my intention, or if it came across that way, I apologize. I have never. It's very few times I have brought something I perceive one of my friends said or did, especially as I've gotten older, as we've gotten older, that we wasn't able to talk it through, um We wasn't able to talk it through. A lot of times, people, men and women, instead of confronting the issue head on and communicating about your um about what's on your mind and what's on your heart, you just rather cut the person off.
That's true. It's trying to avoid conflict, if you
Yes,
will. It's a perceived conflict that doesn't actually have to be there if you just have the conversation with one another.
have the conversation. I think that's a lot of
Hmm.
also what's going on in a lot of relationships. People, you know, aren't communicating their needs, their desires, their fears, um, their insecurities to the
Hmm.
person that you lay down with every single day. Like,
And that's
isn't
deep.
it isn't the person that you lay down with every single day supposed to be your best friend?
I mean, that's what they say. That's what a lot of them say. I know for myself that is what I'm looking for. I need us to be able to communicate and understand each other, and there's no way to understand each other fully without the communication.
Why are you laying down with someone that you don't even feel like you can be open and honest and
Hmm.
communicate in an open, honest, vulnerable way with? Wh-
Exactly.
Why are you
But yet
there?
we say that we want to be best friends with whomever our significant other is. I know I've heard a lot of guys say that
Lots,
yes. And it's
lots,
like, but if you're saying that, we can't be best friends if you're really not communicating your truth, whatever it may be.
and that is a
Whatever it
fact.
may be.
And that is a fact. Even, some of your, and this is a big one, particularly a lot of my male friends have told me has been a big issue in relationships, with women,
Hmm.
communicating their sexual desires. That's a big one.
So men feel like they
They
can't
can't be
communicate it.
honest about what they want, what they want to do.
Wow.
Yeah, like
That's deep.
what they want to try.
What do they perceive that if they've told a woman that it would be, or if they have told them in the past, what were the responses?
Uh,
Do you know?
yeah, no, 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 I don't want to do no, no. The whole threesome thing. All this stuff men wanna,
Gotcha.
wanna try. So they just kind of don't say it anymore, and a lot of times they just go get it somewhere else. Um, Again, right, wrong, or indifferent. I think we have to be open to hearing people when they're speaking their truth, you know, to you. I'm gonna
Why do you think,
go
just
ahead.
to touch on what you just said real quick, why do you think that women would say, nah, nah, or whatever the case may be? Why do you think that they're telling them that? Do you think it's the delivery that they're giving, or maybe it's an insecurity within the woman perceiving that the man will leave?
Yes, that's the core.
That's what you think it is?
That's the
Okay.
core. A lot of women will deny that though. They'll deny that because a lot of women don't want to believe that they live uh, with a fear of the man leaving. So to bring another woman in or whatever, even watching porn, some women don't want their man to even watch it. Because you know in her insecure nine is why aren't I enough?
Mm.
Why you gotta watch another one then? Da 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 da. Because and we'll talk about this on another show that
Yeah, definitely.
there's a low self worth permeating through the female black community.
Real talk. Real talk.
It's a
That is another show.
lot of low self worth in that has went unhealed and untalked about for a very long time. So we're going to definitely, you know, dig deep into that. part of ourselves that a lot of women don't want to acknowledge. So, yeah,
Gotcha.
it's which is why you see so many women spending so much time talking about, thinking about, trying to figure out if a man is cheating
Hmm.
because there's an
I got you.
insecurity, of being left and abandoned by him, right?
Okay.
You
So
know,
back on the topic though, what were you about to say? You were about to give another
oh yeah, I
example.
was about to tell you about me.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a story about when someone communicates their truth, believe them.
Okay.
Actually, I have two. The first one is I had to be about 25 or so, and I was dating this guy.
Mhm.
No, maybe 24, because he was 4 years older than me. 23 or 24, but nonetheless, I was dating this guy, and we had been seeing each other for a little bit of time, and I really liked him, like
Okay.
to the point where I wanted to marry him. I think I've talked about him in a couple of other episodes that I really, really liked him and would have married him. Like I just it
Right
was that
then.
deep right then,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
So
Mhm.
I actually I ended up getting pregnant by him.
Okay.
Um and I remember calling him and telling him that, that I was pregnant.
Mhm.
And I will never forget the words he said to me. He was like, I'm not ready for a baby. He was like,
Mm.
I and I got my whole life ahead of me. I'm trying to get this money. I just don't want a child. I'm just not ready for that right now. And he was like, um, if you decide to have this baby,
Mhm.
I am gonna be there for my child. I'm gonna take care of my child. He was like, the you and I will never be together. Ever
He
be
just
together.
straight up told you
Oh
that.
yeah, he told me. We would never be together. So if you have this baby,
You're on your own.
you on your own. I mean, it's gonna be
Mm.
I'm not it's gonna be me and my child and you gonna be over there.
I
So
mean, he told you his truth.
you better think long and hard if
Mhm.
this is something you want to do.
That's deep. And you said what to yourself at that point?
I hung up the phone
Okay.
and I was stunned. My heart was broken because in my mind, I wanted a family with him.
Mhm.
In my mind, right?
Yes. Gotcha.
So for this man who I loved to tell me straight up, I don't want this with you.
Ooh, that's a hard
I
pill.
don't want this with you. I had to make a decision because this is something that a lot of us women have done. We, these men have told us straight up that they did not want these children. They did not want to be fathers. They were not ready to be fathers.
And we made the choice anyway.
And we made the choice anyway. Knew,
Mhm.
even then, thank God, because to be honest, y'all, I really wanted him. Like I really wanted him. And the thought did cross my mind, but I had enough sense to
Mhm.
ask myself, are you can you accept that if you have his baby, you have his baby, but he's married to somebody else? Can you accept that, Kanique? Are you ready to deal with that? Because this is the future you're looking at. You're gonna be his dating mama, and he's
Mhm.
gonna be married to another. She's gonna be in a position that you're having. This is the reason you're really having this baby. This happens a lot, Vanita. we don't think through the choice of being mothers because what we're really trying to accomplish is having a family.
Yes. I agree
But
with that.
we're not getting we're we're not pulling in the 100% cooperation of the man. We're trying to push it on them. That happens a lot in the
That's
black
true.
community because in the mind of the black woman, and this is like a subconscious thing, and you see this a lot in it's culturally. You different cultures have different things that are embedded subconsciously in their mind, because in the
Hmm.
subconscious mind of the black woman there probably won't be a wedding, because when do you see them?
I mean, you don't see them often. The younger generation, to me, you're starting to see it a little bit more, but within our generation,
Mm-mm,
you don't see it.
you
Not
don't.
like that. And those, to me, this is my perception. Those that have in the past, they've been burnt or whatever they perceive happened in
Yeah.
that situation, which a lot of times kids, like you're speaking of, come out of it,
Yes.
and they just don't want to play like that no more.
They don't want to do
Men
it.
are like, no, they don't perceive that they're receiving enough of a benefit behind doing it, it seems.
That's that's what the room is. That's what the
Yeah,
room is. So I had to ask myself, are you going to believe him? Or are you going to go out on a limb in hope that he changes his mind?
that's deep.
And I
That's
am
deep.
so glad whatever was inside of me, I am so glad that I decided to take it to believe him and to end to terminate the pregnancy.
Exactly.
I'm glad
Good.
it was the right decision for me.
That's
Um
deep.
I wasn't ready. He wasn't ready. Not too long after that, my mother ended up getting sick. She had an aneurysm, so I
Oh,
wouldn't have had my mom to help me.
yeah.
Because most women young, they lean on their mom, their sisters, their aunts, because
Yes.
most of us is way too young to be having these kids. So you lean on them to help you, your village, to assist you. And I wouldn't even have had that. So I would have had a sick mother and a baby at the same time had I made that decision.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Hmm.
That's a lot. But for whatever reason, when he said those words to me, I pondered that shit and I said, okay, let me look at this. Do do you want to be a mother? Because he already told you it ain't gonna be no us. So do you just want to be a mom? Because that's what it's gonna be. And I think that's a question a lot of women didn't ask themselves. V, do
I
you
agree with
really
that.
want to be a mother, or do you really want him?
I
It's a
agree.
truth a lot of us don't want to tell. But that's where I was at the moment. But thank God I believed the truth that he spoke to me. I'm gonna give you one
Hmm.
more example.
Okay.
I was dating this actually this the guy I'm talking about now, he came before this one. I was dating this guy and we had a what I thought was a fun, good relationship. It wasn't a relationship, it was a situation because we weren't together, but we spent a lot of time together. We went out, went to clubs together, danced, had a good time. It was fun. All right. So we never he never really gave us a title, right?
Okay. Okay.
And it
Yeah.
had then I guess it had to. This is like the year 2000, so I can't remember. But I know we had to be. It had been at least a year of dating, and I remember asking him, uh,
Mhm.
one morning, really in the dead, and he was just like, just and just, not ready for, connecting it right now,
So
then
wait a
blah blah
minute.
blah.
You asked him what? Did
What
you ask
where
him
are,
what y'all
what
were
are
doing? Or
we? Yeah, what are
oh,
we
okay,
doing? Yeah, what are we
yeah,
doing, right?
okay.
I'm not ready for da 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 da. Okay. Did I something in me thought that he would change his mind, right?
Okay,
So,
that
um,
happens a lot,
it,
too
when I
many
tell
times, but I
when I
get it.
when I tell you it was a lesson learned, and I have never did that ever again.
That's the
To make a long story short, he because it's a long story that I tell it on another episode. But to make a long story short, I kept seeing him, and he ended up also starting to talk to a girl he went to college with because he had just graduated college or whatever,
truth.
and they got back in contact with each other and started talking, and he ended up leaving. He ended up moving to another state with this woman while we were still seeing each other, and he didn't even tell me. He just left. I found out. I didn't even find out by him. I when I couldn't get in contact with him when his I called his job. They said he had resigned. His phone, because at the time we had landlines, so his phone in
Okay,
his house, because he had a roommate,
was
but they had their own
disconnected.
line. Yeah, it was
Oh,
disconnected. Yeah,
okay.
so when I went down there, his roommate was like, and I never forget. He opened the door, and I looked in. All the furniture was gone, and his roommate just kind of looked like a deer stuck in headlights when I knocked on the door. And I was like, I'm trying to find blah blah blah. I was like, he's
Hmm.
not, the phone disconnected. He was like, Kanika. He's like, I don't want nothing to do with this.
Wow.
He's like, I don't want nothing to do with this. So now I am
Confused.
confused,
Yes. Yes.
scared, nervous, because I don't know what is going on. And I remember that he had a female cousin that
Okay.
we had went over to her house for a cookout one time that didn't live far from him. So I was like, well, maybe if I go over to, her house, maybe she can tell me like what's going on. And I never forget it. She came to the door, she looked at me, and I asked her, I was like, I'm looking for a blah, blah, blah. His phone disconnected, da, da, da. She looked at me and she's like, come in. So I go into her apartment and I sit on the sofa, and she sits down beside me, and she was like, I told him he needed to tell you, uh, he needed to tell you what was going on. I told him that. Uh, she was like, he's moved. He's moved to this, blah 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 state with a
Hmm.
girl that he was dating in college. They got back together. And Vanita.
My question is okay, so he had already stated that he didn't really want a committed relationship. So why was it a bad thing to inform you that he was moving, especially since you guys were spending time together? And this is beyond, to me, that's just a homie code. You know what I'm saying? It's a
And
respect code for me.
and that's what broke my heart so bad. It wasn't the fact that, of course, it was the fact that he left, the fact that he didn't even care enough of what I felt like he didn't care enough about me to even sit me down and say anything.
Yeah,
That hurt.
that's low.
That
That's
hurt.
quite
That
like,
hurt.
yeah. I
So
mean, that makes you look at the character of the individual.
so ever since then, so let's fast forward to 2021
Okay.
today.
Hmm.
Because of that incident, because my lesson from that was, when somebody tells you something, believe
Believe
them.
them. I agree.
He said it. He said it. I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready for that. But I stayed and I stayed, like so many of us women do. We stay and we stay and we stay, thinking that spending time with them, what is going to change their mind. And one day you're going to be their
Hmm.
girlfriend or whatever, their wife. And,
Exactly.
that's wife, 8, 9 years in a relationship, still waiting for a ring. We are notorious for that. That taught me that when a man tells you something or not tells you something, you better believe it. So now,
That's
when
true.
if a man doesn't sit me down and say, Kanika, I like you like that,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to be exclusive, meaning
Okay.
you don't see anybody, and I don't see anybody. I'm going with the latter, Vanita, because
I
from
understand.
communication, I learned from that incident that com- communication is the way to go. Because without that, with communication, to me, there's no misunderstanding.
You're right. You're right. I agree with that.
There's no misunderstanding. And what I found at 43, a lot of men are not communicating how they're feeling when it's the opposite. Like they'll tell some of them, a lot of them will say, "Well, I don't want a relationship. I'm not ready. Da da da. I'm getting the money." The whole spiel that they like to
Yeah,
say.
they have no problem telling you that. But if they do,
If
they
they
see,
do,
yeah, they tend not to say that either. That's the crazy thing. You're
it
not,
is the craziest
yeah,
thing.
you're quick to tell me you're quick to tell me no, this isn't what you want, but you won't tell me what you do want.
What you do want, it's okay. Men, see, men that has been socialized this way. Men have been socialized to believe that you're not a man if you express how you're feeling. But you know how many people aren't together right now? How many men, are not with the woman they want to be with or the woman they love because they just can't
Yeah.
express to her how he's feeling?
But I would like to know from the men, what do you lose by telling her how you truly feel? What
That's
do
the
you
million
really
dollar question.
lose?
That's the $1,000,000 question. Are you afraid? Like, what are you afraid of?
Yeah, because we don't understand it until we all of a sudden get cussed out about something, and you're like, wait a minute, I didn't. It seems as though you're on a different page than me, but I didn't get the memo
I didn't get the no on there. I didn't get the
that you were on
no.
this page. Like,
I didn't know.
you just yelled at me because you saw me out with a dude, but
Right.
hold on, I didn't. Were we supposed to be exclusive?
That's all I'm asking. Just tell me what you're trying to do. Were you trying?
Listen, because majority of the time I would probably want to be exclusive with you too. But if
Right.
you don't tell me, I don't know.
And I don't know, and I'm not going to assume because when I assumed, I got left in another state down there who I really liked.
Yes,
So that taught me a lesson about assuming. I felt like an ass
I'm
for
sure.
not believing
What
what
he told
he
you.
told me.
Yeah.
So I just don't do that anymore. I don't assume, because we're spending time. I don't assume. You gotta speak up. That's why communication is so important, guys. We got to start talking to each other. We got to start
Hmm.
expressing, how we feel. And you don't have to do it, in a way that, is abrasive, or mean spirited. You can communicate, with empathy and compassion and
Yeah.
in love. You can communicate that way. That we have to start being honest with one another about how we feel. And I can't tell you how many times I done got cussed out. Um, I done got cussed out. You hear me?
Oh my God. You don't be getting cussed out, do you?
Cussed out. Cussed out. Because
Okay.
I just didn't know that person was feeling that way. They never said it. They never talked about it. And then,
Hmm.
something happened and it's just an explosion of emotion like, "You da, 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 da." And I'm like, well, what? When did this happen? Why didn't you say, this is, what you wanted or how you was feeling? Again, if they would have only communicated, like Vanita said, I'm probably on the same page that you're on, but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna assume. I learned a horrible, horrible lesson. I was broken hearted, and I didn't get over that for 14. I got over that. It took me 14 weeks. That's how deep the pain was. I counted the weeks.
I was about to say, you remember the weeks? Like, yeah,
It
you
took me
were.
14 weeks to get over that
Yeah, that was a lot.
pain from that. My heart was broken open then. Just like I said, to somebody to just up and move to another state and not even sit you down and tell you when you thought that you guys were on this certain page. That's a hard pill to swallow. and it taught me a valuable lesson. Valuable lesson. So, um, when somebody tells you, how they feel, uh,
Trust
believe
in
them.
what they're saying. Yeah.
And Vanita, I think you and I were talking about this earlier. When when you're dating somebody, uh,
Hmm.
y- we gotta be we gotta be honest. Uh, a lot of times, y'all think if y'all be honest with us, y'all not gonna get no more ass. That's a part of it. That's a big problem. That's a
It
big
is. And what's so crazy, some of us will continue on anyway.
facts.
We will continue on anyway, but at least let us know where we are with one
Yes.
another,
Yes. Yes.
so that we'll know how to move. You know, just talking about this now and thinking about it, um, I I wonder if it is a men would like to control the situation
What do you mean, D?
is why they don't say anything. Well, I don't perceive that men, when they're dating you or even having sex with you, I don't know that they're good to actually know that you may be having sex with someone else, even if you
Woo!
guys aren't exclusive. I think that may bother them some. And this is
Some.
just,
A
yeah,
lot.
okay, a lot, and this is just, again, my perception on it. So if men feel different, then let us know what your thought process is. But
Yeah.
that's how I have seen it in the past with a lot of guys that I've dated. Like, they don't really want, that part does not want to come into their minds at all, that you could be possibly dealing with someone else,
Yeah.
although you're dealing with them, even though they don't necessarily want a relationship with you. You may just be the homie or a cut buddy or whatever, but they don't want to know that you're dealing with someone else as well. They want to perceive that they are the only ones, period.
They
But
do.
then on the flip side, they're okay with you knowing that they're dealing with a lot of chicks.
And
Do
that's a
you get
fact.
what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure. Oh, for
Yeah, it's
sure.
definitely, to me, one-sided.
Oh,
it's,
for
it's
sure.
definitely one-sided.
Oh, for sure. Definitely. They did. Don't answer the phone one day when you usually answer the phone
Yeah,
about
they
11 o'clock.
automatically assume that you're talking to whomever and whatever, and this and that.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. Men automatically go to the worst case scenario.
Hmm.
Worst case, and then start feeling some type of way, and then, maybe a lot of times won't express it. Then it comes out later. You know what I mean? Yeah, just like that time when you didn't answer your what?
I didn't know that you cared like that. Like, you have to let me know that you care like that. But again, I think it's a case that they're not sure themselves, so they're trying to leave themselves open for a better opportunity.
That's
And if,
exactly what they're doing.
listen, if that's how you want to move, it's nothing wrong with that, but we just tend to not get anywhere moving that way. And then I guess what throws me off too is sometimes they're moving in that manner. And so, okay, we'll say you find that chick that you felt like was a better option. So then they get with her, and then in getting with her, it's well, she's not nurturing like you were, or she's she's mean hearted, or she thinks I'm supposed to take care of these kids, or she thinks this or she thinks that. So then they try to backtrack, and it's like, but you already made your choice.
Woo! You better say it. That happens a
So
lot.
it does. It
That
does.
that
Which is
happens
why I
a
say we
lot.
have to start moving with intent for men and women. Men have to move with what are you really trying to do? And in what are you really trying to do what does that look like for you? So when
Yeah.
I'm saying that, I'm saying if you're looking for a relationship, you decide, okay, I'm ready for a relationship. What does that other individual look like for you in that relationship? How
Like
does that map out? If it's a look for you, if it's a degree that she needs to have, or a conversation, or affection, what does it look like for you from that other individual?
absolutely.
And
And
then know, even in that, for men and women, when you look at that, know that some things may have to change. You may not get everything that's on your checklist.
I think I was talking to a friend of mine, and he was saying that Nin. This was actually
Hmm.
yesterday. He was talking about Nin. He was saying how Nin always mess up relationships for the most part. They don't think about the 80-20 rule. A lot of men will leave their 80 for the 20 because the 20 might look the part or whatever, that she doesn't have the substance, the nurturing, the caring.
Hmm.
She's not nice, you know what I mean? Because again,
All
like you
those
said,
things I named.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. And then when they realize that they want to, that doesn't work out, they
Backtrack.
want to go back,
Yeah,
you
backtrack.
know, to where life was like he said, and I quote, he said, we want to go back to where life was much easier,
That's deep. That's
easier.
deep. That's deep.
He said we left the easy because we thought that this was a better option because she probably looked better or whatever. Had
What's
more
so interesting off that statement is you said what was easier. So I go to ask, do we prefer conflict, kinda?
I think he was saying, the other girl was nicer. She had the nurturing qualities and this and that. That the other girl may have been prettier, sexier. You know what I mean? That she was meaner. She wasn't nurturing. She expected because he told me he was like he said, and to give you an example, I went from one girl who never gave me flack about not job. Saying I need to do this. I need to get a better job. I need to do this. And the next girl one that I went to, she was always on me about it. You need to do this. He's even to the point he said, she need to dress. You need to dress better. You need to go to the gym. You're too skinny.
Wow.
Yes, yes. You need to go to the gym. You don't have enough muscles. You're too skinny. And she liked designer stuff where the other girl didn't even like, she wasn't even into that. It wasn't no big deal, to her or whatever. So he was like,
Hmm.
he realized, like, wow, I had a good thing over there and I effed it up. And a lot of
Yeah.
times, these men want to come back and then we just don't feel the same no more now. We just don't feel the
No.
same.
I think a lot of times when women disconnect from that, some can't get that back
It,
again.
it's a, it,
Yeah.
once that feeling is gone, I'm one of those people. Once for
Yeah.
me, I will love you forever. You always have a space in my heart because we share, a moment of time in our life together that I can't seem to get it back. Even if I wanted to get it back, you know what I mean? I
Hmm.
can't.
It's hard to pull
Yeah,
those same emotions. You're not going to get the same me again.
you're not gonna get the same
The
me again. Yeah,
the nurturing, the this, the that, it's going to be different. So it's not going to feel the same again. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I agree.
Absolutely, absolutely. Even also, guys, even issues with your friends. Um, you want your friends to be the best versions of themselves. If you
Yes,
really
I
love
would
them,
hope so. Yes,
you
I
want to
agree.
be in a lot. Sometimes we don't deem the best versions of ourselves. In situations and circumstances, and sometimes you have to pull your friend's coat, and you do it out of love. Um, that you have to let them know you wrong for that.
Hmm.
You wrong for that. What you did to him, what you did to her, what you said to him, what you said to her. You better than that, and da 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 da. And
Exactly.
because you want them, we all want each other to grow, and to evolve. And
Exactly.
sometimes you don't see it. You don't see it until someone points it out. You don't see it.
For
especially something you've been doing subconsciously for your whole life,
exactly.
or acting in a
Yes.
certain way for your whole life, you don't see it.
I
Um,
agree.
um, Vanita and I would tell you that's how we became friends. We didn't start out with no, we just we it
We
was
don't we don't we're always looking to improve one another, and that's even
yes,
in communicating with issues amongst me and her, as well as our relationships. When we're talking to one another about
yes,
our experiences with the different relationships, we
yes,
try to look at it from all angles and all sizes, and knowing each other, help each other move forward.
yeah. Because she was like, I was talking to her about something yesterday, last night, and she was like, "Well, this keeps happening to you over and over and over. You're the common denominator.
Hmm.
You need to see what this is inside of you that keeps creating this same experience." And I was like, you know what? She is right. Now, what am I doing? What am I doing to get this same result, all the time?
Yeah, from different individuals, and we have to look at that within ourselves, to see, okay, well, where is this coming from, or what am I doing, or maybe I need to adjust,
Yes,
because neither one of us, I can speak for Kanika on this. Our intent is never to hurt anyone.
absolutely.
That's
Absolutely. We
never the intent.
never, it's always wanting that person, us, people that we love, to be
Yes.
better, to be
Yes.
better, to be the best, to be, compassionate, empathetic, and loving
Hmm.
towards each other, and to, again,
Yes.
to evolve. So, sometimes you got to have the hard conversations, with your
Yes.
friends, when they doing some nonsense.
Exactly.
Some of your
Exactly.
friends be doing nonsense. They
Hmm.
do, and like I said, in the moment, and I might be hurt feelings, or, I got a friend. She always says, um, every time we talk, I get so mad. I be like, that bitch that I. She said, after I get over myself, I think
Hmm.
about what you said, and I listen, and I take it in because I know you're coming from a loving place. So,
Definitely.
I appreciate that. So
Hmm.
basically, to sum it all up, you have to be honest about where you are, wherever that is, and be
Hmm.
okay with the outcome, because again, you can't control how people take what you say. You can only control how you deliver your
The
truth.
information.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
With
And
love,
again,
compassion.
there you go. That's what I was
Yeah.
about to say. Go ahead.
Yeah, with empathy, love, and compassion.
Yes.
And just, you know, before you say it, just ask God, for, make sure your intention is right. Your intention is, you're coming from a
Hmm.
place of love, because intention rules. It
Hmm.
dominates. What are you trying to do here?
All day.
So if you're not trying to hurt anybody, then, that's the only thing that, you can be concerned with. That wasn't
Yeah.
my intention. So,
Yeah.
um, all right. Do you have anything else, V?
Nope. Just move with intent. That's about all I can say. Please, everybody, look at yourself, figure out what you're trying to do, and voice that and move in that space.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
Yeah. Communicate that. If you just trying to kick it and you ain't trying to get in a relationship, say that.
Yeah.
And the ladies, if he tell you that, believe him.
I was gonna say, more than anything, believe what people are trying to explain to you. Everything that this also goes for having kids. Believe him when he says it. Figure out if you're trying to be a single mom. Like Kanika was saying, she had to ask herself, "Am I trying to do this by myself?"
Real
That
talk.
wasn't her intent. So she didn't move in that manner. But we got to move in that manner with everything that you do, any and everything that you do. I mean, if you think about it, to give just a simple example, when we get up in the morning, our intent is to get to work so that we can make this money, so we can get this paycheck, right? That's your intent always.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what it is.
Yeah, so you have to move the same way. You don't perceive that, oh, I'm not going to get up, but this paycheck is still going to come. That's not how it works.
That's how
We
it
all
works.
know that's not how it works. The people will not release a paycheck unless you clock into their system.
Right.
Period.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately,
Unfortunately.
yes. So your intent is to get that paycheck.
Yeah.
So to get that paycheck, you get up, log in and do what you got to do or drive in, whatever the case may be, so that you
Yeah.
can get the money.
Yeah.
Move with intent. If you're looking for a relationship, move in that manner. If someone tells you that that's not what they're trying to do, or like Kanika also say, they tell you nothing at all, no, no communication means no.
To me, to me, I learned
To
a
me too.
valuable lesson. I learned a
Yeah.
lesson then. If
Yeah.
you don't
No
say it, it's no.
communications mean no. So
No. Yeah,
they
don't
don't want,
assume.
yeah, don't assume at all. They don't want it. So move forward and know that what you are looking for is going to come. Just
Yeah.
keep moving forward.
And if they did want it and they didn't communicate it when you leave and you drop them, then they'll let you know.
They'll let you know.
They'll let you
They
know.
will definitely let you
Yeah,
know.
they'll come back and tell you, "Oh
Hmm.
no, this is what I want," or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's not what I was trying to do. Hold on,
yeah,
wait a minute. And I'm like, well,
yeah.
you didn't say anything at
That's
all.
not
So
what you
I,
said. You didn't
that
say
was a
nothing.
unspoken no to me.
I learned a valuable lesson. Not, that's how I move now. If you don't say it, it's a no for me. So
Hmm.
yeah. So Um, thank you all for tuning in as usual. Like
Yes.
stated at the beginning of the show, if you don't mind subscribing to the channel and liking and sharing the video, we'll be bringing you deep conversations like this, hopefully for years to come.
Yes.
It's been a long time coming for us to bring our friendship conversations. Like as you can see, that gets very, very deep. To
Yes.
all of you and the lessons we've learned behind some of the experiences, such as the ones I described tonight on the show,
Yes.
to all of you, so you don't have to go through the same things. You can bypass it, without having to go through the pain of the lesson. We just give you the lesson and you can take it. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, well, thank you. Thanks for tuning in. And as
Yes.
always, wherever you are in the world, I love you. Bye bye.
Yes. Bye bye.